What's going on, guys? Jada Black here. Salute to everybody that's tuning in. I want to talk about this OF model slash escort by name of Michaela. Now, Michaela is entering a guilty plea after she was charged with unaliving a 56-year-old man who was a client of hers, and apparently she's going to be sentenced to 4 years in prison for this. I believe they're believing that this is an accidental death. But there are things that are not adding up, and there are more questions than answers in this situation with this particular woman. I believe she's getting a slap on the wrist. They never want to hold these women accountable. And from what I looked up on and read on, apparently he was wrapped up almost like a mummy. And I saw a comment where they said a bag was placed over his head and he wouldn't have been able to do that. And she was possibly lying. But she gets this manslaughter charge and she is going to get a stipulated 4-year sentence. I don't think she's going to do the whole 4 years. These women can do anything and get a slap on the wrist. They never want to hold women accountable in the court of law. But when it comes to men, it don't matter. You got men who are serving life in prison just for being with somebody that unalived somebody else. But in this situation, okay, this is the state of California. They never hold women accountable. In San Diego County, with this particular woman, they're giving her this slap on the wrist again. But I feel like it's karma because she probably thought that she would get out of this when she's gonna have to go to prison. Now she's a married woman, and her husband was like her manager. He helped manage her OnlyFans escorting business. He was right there with her. I don't know if he's still with her, like supporting her, because she's gonna still have to go to prison. But this in this whole situation just shows you that there are consequences to actions. Even though, again, this may look like a slap on the wrist, she still got to do that time, and she will be sentenced in June. But there's a bigger thing here, and it's about accountability. I don't think she thought that she did anything wrong. I don't think she thought that she was responsible for what happened to this man. But ultimately, she is. And to a certain degree, the family's not getting any justice. It's almost like they pled out because they were afraid that if they take it to a jury trial that she would be acquitted. I don't think so. I just think they wanted this over with and they wanted to get something. Now, the family's probably not liking this decision, but we're going to get into the story just to see where we're at right now, right? An OnlyFans model is charged with murder following the death of a client during a fatal fetish session, agreed to plead guilty to a reduced charge in a deal with prosecutors. Let me tell y'all something. These OF models are absolutely meeting up with subscribers. They're absolutely meeting up with subscribers. Michaela Rylaarsdam, this is how you pronounce it, entered a guilty plea in involuntary manslaughter with a stipulated sentence of 4 years in custody. A spokesperson for the San Diego County District Attorney's Office tells People. He was found unresponsible by police after he and Michaela met for a fetish session in April of 2023. Prosecutors said during a preliminary hearing, Dale, who was 56, was then taken to a local hospital where he was declared brain dead. And a few days later, he was taken off life support. 2 years later, police arrested her, a 32-year-old mother of 3. They keep saying she's a mother of 3. No, she was OnlyFans model escort who willingly did what she did, right? Prosecutors said that at the hearing that on the night Dale died, he allegedly paid Michaela more than $11,000 to engage in fetish play, asking the then 29-year-old to wrap him in saran wrap like a mummy, glue the women's boots onto his feet, and then pour adhesive in his eyes in order to seal them shut. That is weird. That is very weird. Police arrived, however, to find Dale with a plastic bag over his head. Now, that's the part right there that's crazy. He didn't put that plastic bag over his head. Duct tape over his mouth, face, and head, and plastic wrap shrouding his entire body, prosecutors said. The medical examiner ruled the cause of death to be asphyxiation and the matter of death to be homicide after determining that the bag had been wrapped around Dale's head for at least 8 minutes. Detective Chris Zach of the police department there, who headed up the investigation, also spoke at the preliminary hearing. He examined Michaela's phone and said that Dale had texted requesting that she do things like glue his eyes shut with Gorilla Glue, but never requested that a bag be placed over his head. So this is negligence. This is negligent homicide. This ain't voluntary manslaughter. She's responsible for him losing his life, even though what he did was extremely dangerous. And there are people, it looks like the courts believe that he did it to himself, which is why they pled out the way they did. She still was very negligent. Zag also said he found video of the content Michaela appeared to be filming for OnlyFans and images she sent to her husband of Dale covered in plastic wrap with a bag over his head. Dale's roommate of 5 days also testified at the hearing and said that he overheard him asking Michaela to stop and even offering her more money if she did it at one point. So that's what the roommate said. The roommate said that he told her to stop and she kept doing it. It's almost like she got off by inflicting more of what happened onto him than he wanted. But they pleading out this heifer. Michaela's defense has pointed out that she called 911, performed life-saving measures on Dale, and was at the scene when police arrived. But that doesn't mean anything because ultimately she's still responsible. And if what the roommate is saying is true, he told her to stop and she kept doing it. It's almost like she got enjoyment out of it. She was sending videos to her husband, right? She was sending videos to him, her business partner. And, but according to the roommate, she was told to stop. And they want to plead out this heifer. She needs to do every bit of those 4 years. And you know what's crazy? She's going to get out of prison and she's going to go right back to the track. She's going to go right back to the track, right back to doing OnlyFans because that's all she know. But if you're trying to, she's going to go right back to what she was doing. But she can't get no legitimate job. Nobody's going to hire her after this. All right. So she's going to go right back to doing that and seeing clients. You dudes better be careful out here. This heifer probably, again, she got enjoyment out of inflicting more damage on this guy. And she's out here lying, talking about, oh, I tried to, no, you did that after the fact when you probably was no longer breathing. This heifer's sick. Her and her weird husband, they're sick. And she deserves to be in prison for longer than that. All right? In court, not crying, not one tear. She didn't care this man lost his life. She thought she was going to get away with it. Now, she may have gotten 4 years, but people know who she is, and she's never going to live this down. That's why I say she'll never be able to get a regular job ever. She can't get out the life because you got women who do OnlyFans or may escort. They'll try to transition into regular life at some point. She ain't going to be able to do that. This case is always going to follow her. Always. So this is why I say that when you don't hold women accountable, they think they can get away with anything. It took them 2 years to arrest her. This heifer deserves to be in prison longer. But she's going to, she's mandated to do, stipulated, to do 4 years. So let me know in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Like this video and share. Follow me on all my social media platforms, and I will see y'all next.